Dear students, good morning. In this lecture we are going to see the round trip time of an electron and the velocity modulation in the reflex klystron of unit 5 A unit 3. Here you see we had seen already the working of this. Now we'll see the electrons which have been emitted from the cathode and they are reaching a t0 time with v0 velocity, and when they are exit from the cavity at t1 time, they will be moving with v of t1 velocity. That velocity modulation is taking place here, as we know that when the reflex klystron is switched on, that time the biasing is disturbed and the some voltage of high frequency is getting generated, and the voltage which is getting generated is of very low voltage. So at the initial point it is not very much important, but at the later on time the same voltage with the amplified version we get, and we get it at the output. So here also the velocity modulation takes place as in the two cavity klystron takes place. So after the velocity modulation, the electrons move in the repeller region, where the electrons come under the force of the repeller, and that force is known as retarding force, and the field applied over that electrons in that repeller space is the retarding field. And now we see that V0 we had already calculated, that was equal to 0.593 into 10 power 6 square root V0 meter per second, where V0 is the beam voltage, and here at V of T1 we also calculated there, that is V0 into 1 plus beta I V1 divided by 2 V0 sin omega T1 minus theta G by 2, and this is the same expression we had received in the two cavity klystron, but the change is there when the electrons come in the repeller region. That time they come in the under the force of retarding force or retarding field, they come under the retarding phase. So retarding field is calculated by adding these forces, that is Vs plus V0 plus Vr divided by L. This L is the distance. So this E is equal to gradient we take minus del V or V over L we say. So minus, and that minus and minus that becomes plus, so it is there. This is E is equal to Vr plus V0 plus Vn sin omega t divided by L. Omega is the frequency, very high frequency, which is generated in the reflex klystron, and this V1 is very much smaller than the VR and VR and V0, as we have practically seen in the lab also, that V0 was approximately 300 volt, and whereas VR was approximately equal to 200 volt, whereas V1 is, which we saw on the oscilloscope, that was very less and it was in millivolt. That's why we can neglect it, and VR plus VL divided by L we get, and this is the field which remains constant in the z direction. In the z direction it remains constant. It is assumed to be constant. So here on the electrons the mechanical force is applied, and the electrostatic force is also applied. So both the force, when they are equal, that time we get this equation md square z by dt square is equal to minus EE. This is electrostatic force and this is mechanical force, and where m is the mass of the electron, d square z by dt square is nothing but the acceleration. So this acceleration we get d square z by dt square is equal to, this m comes over here, that is minus E by m into Vr plus V node we get divided by L, and this equation we integrate with reference to t. So this becomes dz by dt, and here also we integrate it both the sides, that is minus E by m Vr plus V0 divided by L dt. It is integrated over the limit t1 to t plus k1. K1 is the constant of integration. Then we solve it. When we solve it, we get dz by dt is equal to minus e by m vr plus v0 divided by l, and t minus t1 plus k1. K1 we can calculate by placing the condition that at t is equal to t1, that dz by dt, there is the velocity at t is equal to t1. At t is equal to t1, if you see, at t is equal to t1, the velocity is v of t1. So here we can place that dz by dt is nothing but the velocity of velocity at time t1. So this comes k1 is equal to v of t1. Again, in place of this k1, we are placing this v of t1, and we get dz by dt minus e by m vr plus v naught divided by l into t minus t1 plus v of t1. Again we integrate it with reference to time. So both the sides we are integrating. So when we integrate this dz by dt integration with reference to t over the limit t1 to t, we get z, and this dash here we are getting the integration minus e by m vr plus v naught divided by l into t1 to t minus t1 dt plus v of t1 to t dt. As this v of t1 does not have this t variable, we see this equation, initial equation here, that v of t1 is equal to v naught into 1 plus beta e v1 divided by 2 v naught omega t1 minus theta g. So t is not there, that's why it is acting just like a constant, and we can integrate it over the time, and we can place the limit, and we get z is equal to minus e by m vr plus v naught divided by l into t minus t1 whole square divided by 2 plus v of t1 into t minus t1 plus k2. And again this integration constant we will calculate. So for calculation here, we are again placing the condition at t is equal to t1, that z was equal to d. So here we can see at t1 is equal to z is equal to d with reference to this first grid. So we get it, and d we have placed, and minus at t is equal to t1. So this constant, this term will become 0, this v of t1 term will become 0, and k2 will remain there. So k2 we get k2 is equal to d. Hence we can write z is equal to minus e by m, the previous equation, vr plus v naught divided by l into t minus t1 whole square divided by 2 plus v of t1 into t minus t1 plus in place of k2 we are writing d. So here when we calculate the round trip time, that time we need how much time the electrons had taken. When they have exit, the time was t1. When they are entering back from the repeller region, that time is t2. So t2 minus t1 is the transit time in the repeller region of the electrons. So this time we are calculating by placing the condition at t is equal to t2, and at t is equal to t2, the z again it becomes t, because the d is z is the displacement. So the displacement at t2 time, again this is d. So as we place z is equal to t minus, it becomes, this equation becomes z is equal to t minus e by m vr plus v naught divided by l, and in place of t we have placed a t2 minus t1 divided by 2, and that is t2 minus t1 is a squared plus v of t1 t. Again here in place of t we are writing t2 minus t1 plus d and d both will cancelled, and then we can calculate t2 minus t1, and then this t2 minus t1 is referenced as round trip transit time in the repeller region, that is t dash we have indicated, t dash is equal to minus t is equal to t2 minus t1, and that is 2 ml divided by e into vr plus v naught into v of t1, and that v of t1 we can replace it from the equation, that is here v naught into 1 plus beta e v1 divided by 2 v naught sin omega t1 minus theta g by 2. So as we write it, then by manipulation we have, that is we can have t2 minus t1 is equal to t naught dash 1 plus beta I v1 divided by 2 v naught sin omega t1 minus theta g by 2, and this t naught dash with the manipulation of this equation, and we can get this equation is t naught dash is equal to 2 ml v naught divided by E into Vr plus v naught, and this time t naught dash is known as round trip DC transit time, and this is important formula for the calculation purpose. Now we'll see the transit angle. So the transit angle, again if we multiply by omega, then we get omega t2 minus t1, this becomes omega t dash, and if I multiply here omega t naught dash, it will become into 1 plus beta I v1 divided by 2 v naught sin omega t1 minus theta g. If I take it inside it, omega t naught dash, I have replaced it by theta naught dash, so this becomes theta naught dash beta I v1 divided by 2 v naught. Here we have written it, and this is sin omega t1 minus theta g by 2. So this theta naught dash is known as round trip DC transit angle of the center of the bunch electron, and x, this is the x dash, and it is termed as the bunching parameter. So thank you very much. We will see the use of this equation and this equation in the next lecture. Thank you very much.